All right, we are recording and I'm so excited. We have Miranda Yesiki on here, and she is going to just share her story. If you don't mind starting with that, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you found out about It Works, and what this business has done for you so far. You can't unmute yourself. My bad. 1 second. Normally I don't have that setting on, but I do right now. Okay, there you go.
Thank you. First off, thank you for beginning that in prayer. It brought tears to my eyes, and I love that so much. And thank you for having me, you guys. So my name is Miranda Yesiki. Thank you for saying my last name right. Usually they pronounce it Yesiki. So I am 36 years old from Washington State. I am somebody, first off, that you would have never talked to about this business. So I am now a presidential diamond, working on ambassador, and it's been quite the journey. So 4 years ago, life looked a whole lot different. I was a radiology supervisor. I had a big girl job, 2 college degrees. On paper, I looked fabulous and just had my stuff going on. I was a boss. I managed a staff of people, and worked in the hospital setting for about 15 years, straight out of high school. And yet there was a lot of things behind the scenes that just people didn't know and I didn't share. I'm a super shy, quiet introvert. So I'm like this little secret ninja. Most people don't know me in the company, and I'm totally fine with that. And yet it's crazy with all that has happened. So this business came to me directly after I had just lost my mom. And I apologize if I have any triggers on this for you guys, but she was my best friend. I had a really, really traumatic childhood, to say the least, and she was my rock. I went to the spelling bee for her. I did my straight A's for her. I did everything because I just wanted my mom proud. And I was a teen mom, and yet 4 months pregnant, I started my radiology program to make my mom proud, and get through life and have the success so I could take care of her. And she was only 51 when she passed. I was pregnant with my last kid, and that same week I found out I was pregnant. We found out her cancer diagnosis, and it was only 6 months. And so, to say the least, I was thrown into the biggest depression of my life. When this business came to me, I was very suicidal. I don't share that too often. But she was my rock. I talked to her every day, every freaking day, even as an adult. I would call my mom to talk life. And it's what do you do when you lose one of the most important people of your whole life? What do you do? And so all of the success I had with my medical stuff, it didn't mean squat anymore. We were struggling financially at the same time. So, I was a young parent. I had no idea how to budget. I didn't know credit card stuff. I didn't know nothing, and we made every mistake possible. I married my elementary school sweetheart. So 75% of my team are Pacific Islanders, which is kind of crazy. And, it was just, oh my gosh, my life is crazy, you guys. So I married him, made a lot of mistakes, had a lot of debt, went through schooling and all these things. And when the economy crashed in 2009-10, we took in a lot of family at the same time. And that is literally when everything bad had happened as far as finances go. Because a lot of people gave me crap starting this. They're like, you already have a great job. Why would you need this? And all of this. But they didn't know that my marriage was on the rocks. We fought all the time. We would have screaming matches. I couldn't even go to the store and get my kids a juice box anymore. It was that bad. I would go and I'd have $10 to go get dinner or something. Gas, we couldn't put gas in the car. I'd go to my in-laws, which she might even be on here. I'd go to my in-laws that Thursday or Friday or whatever before I got paid because we had nothing in the fridge. And so it was really, really tough. And then I pop out a 10-pound baby, literally, and just lost my mom. And it was just everything was crumbling. I was in my corner. And the devil attacks when you're at your weak point. And I was convincing myself that the world would be better without me. I had some scary moments with being in the garage and the keys in the ignition and the door down. And you guys, it was beyond close. And this business came to my life about a week later. And so my loyalty is with this company. I would give them my blood, but it literally saved my life. It is my outlet for the depression and the anxiety and all of those things. And so my friend introduced me to the business. At first, you guys, I sat on it. I kind of made fun of her for a minute. I'm like, oh, no. 48 Facebook friends, no Instagram, super shy, introverted, had no like friends, you know, it was just like, this is not, no. But I was crying on my pillow and asking God why like he hated me so much. I was so angry. And yeah, I'm like, what if this is what he's trying to send me? So I jumped. Does anyone have any unsupportive spouses? Because I certainly did. He told me no, because originally I just wanted to buy the wraps. And he's just like, no, we don't have the money. I did some research. I'm like, okay, I need to do this. And I literally went behind his back, didn't pay a cell phone bill, and signed up and got the silent treatment. And yet I used that as fuel to just propel me. So a little bit even behind the scenes, how I grew up. Anyone know where Forks, Washington is? Twilight? That's where I grew up. Small population of 3,000. Team Wolf. And I grew up in like this cold little metal trailer. My dad is still over there. Metal trailer, no running water, no electricities. I would do my homework around kerosene lanterns. I was a poor kid. I was bullied heavily. That was my upbringing. And so I know that it takes hard work to get out of that. And so I hustled, you know, teen mom, all these things. And then again, you come back to 4 years ago and I'm like, I just have to try this. Because you never know, right? It's like when your mom tells you to go eat something, I don't know. And so I jumped in and I was just like, there's got to be some people that want this. I was ignorance on fire. I used the wraps. My body responded really, really well. I forced my husband to use them too. So 4 wraps came in the kit back then. I put 2 on him and 2 on me. And those results is what got me to Ruby in 2 weeks. And that was my goal. I just wanted gas and groceries and I was good. And so I didn't go all in. I just wanted the $500 each month. And so we like settled for a while and then like perspective happened. I didn't see my husband like ever. What was a date night? We hadn't even had a date night in like 3 years. And I was missing him. He was working crazy long shifts at a different hospital. I still worked full time. On the weekends, I pulled 2 16-hour shifts on the weekends. That was just brutal, kicked my butt. And he would work on the weekdays, so we wouldn't have babysitters. And so didn't see him ever. And it came to the point where I was struggling at home because I took in my niece at the same time. So there was 4 kids, one of them a newborn, my 2, and then my niece, 2 puppies. And I felt like a single mom. And I still had a lot of like anxiety and panic attacks and all these things that literally ruled my life back then. I couldn't go to a mall. I couldn't go to things without like just about passing out. My first conference, I had to be escorted out before I passed out. So I've come a long way. But boy, back then, like I was struggling with the kids. I was struggling with all these things. My teen that I have, if anyone has any teen, you know, I was having a rough time with her. She wanted to talk back all the time, all these things, and I was losing my marbles. And so my husband came home. I was bawling my eyes out, and he's like, "Hey, if you kick butt with the business, I'll come home." And it was the first time he gave me a sliver of something, because this whole time he was hating you guys. Solid 8 months. He would hit my phone out of my hands. It was so annoying. And I'm like, okay. And so I kicked butt and I got him home 3 months later. So he's been home ever since. He's been a stay-at-home dad, and it changed our family completely because he's so patient and so good. He's such a good dad. So he's home all the time. And then it was like we traveled everywhere. We went to Disneyland. We did all the things. We paid off like $60,000 in debt. And then I'm like, well, why am I not home? At that point, I was making way more at the hospital. And the only thing that was really to keep me back was fear. I hated my job. It was very toxic. And so, and I was burnt out. There was triggers about my mom everywhere. All the codes that was called, I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom, you know? And then I'm like, screw it. So I went to my very first try it, or what did they call it back in the day? 121 missions or whatever, was with Denise Walsh, the Black Diamond Denise Walsh. And she was a doctor. And get to events, because had I not gone to the event, I would not have retired myself later. But I saw this doctor on stage that was retired, and that seed was planted when I was a brand new distributor, carried on to 2 years ago. And I saw her at a green carpet. I'm like, when did you know? And she's like, you just know. And I never went back to work. I didn't even give my notice. I was done. I valued my time. I missed out on all basketball games, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, like everything, because I worked every weekend. I missed out on my church. Like I missed my church so bad. I worked the weekends for 10 years. And so I just said, screw it. I went and it's been so great. People that I haven't seen me in years are like, who are you? Like, I don't have stress like I used to. We moved to a brand new city last year where I have a pool in my backyard, and it's just like, yeah. Brought my husband his dream truck, $73,000 dream truck. Half of it's already paid off. We live this crazy life because of this business, and it's just crazy. I love my life. I'm obsessed with what I do. I hope that was good.
Oh my word. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Like, I know that's probably hard to talk about, so I really appreciate y'all sharing that, or you sharing that. And just, I didn't even know, like, really most of your story until just now. So that's crazy. Like, I feel like you just had every single odd against you, but you were like, no, like, I'm not gonna accept that for myself. But I feel like so many people do. They're like, well, this is how I grew up. This is just who I am. And you were like, nope, not me. And like, or, oh, my marriage is bad. So, whatever, but like you worked on it and you were like, this is going to be better. Like, we're going to get better because of this. And, you started this business with all the odds against you again, and you still made it happen. Like, I'm just so inspired right now. This was so good. I'm just like seeing some of the people commenting, and like, I know that they needed to hear that from you, and just, you really did touch a lot of people just now, including myself. Some of the things that really stuck out to me with what you said was an unsupportive spouse. So if you have that or have had that in the past, drop a 1 in the comments, and you're like, yes, like, I loved hearing that. That was super relatable. Helped me so much to know I'm not alone. Because I think that that's hard, like struggling with it. Just people not really understanding the concept of this business, I guess, and just like not really taking it seriously, and just different things like that. So that was huge. And then the other thing that you said was, oh crap, I knew I should have written it down. You're talking about, I know one thing, I don't think this is the thing I was going to say, but I know you also talked about missing out on a bunch of stuff. And you were like, I had to miss out on birthday parties. If you are like, that's me, or that was me, drop a 2 in the comments. I'm going to do a 2 for that one, because I missed out on everything. Like, I missed out on birthday parties. I missed out on holidays. I missed out on church. Like, that was one thing. Like, I remember I used to work every Sunday, and like I finally got to go to church when I quit this business. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Cause like, I stopped doing one job so that I could go to church. And then the other job started scheduling me on Sundays, and I told them I wasn't available. And so you really truly only get that freedom when you work for yourself. And so I loved being able to go to church again, and just getting involved. It just like made me so much better. So, okay, so really quick, we're gonna get into some questions. And if y'all have questions that you think of, feel free to drop those in the comments as we go. And if we have time at the end, we can go back to those. But I have a couple questions that I've written out for you. And the first one is posting. So I just kind of want to talk about that for a second. And I have a couple different questions to ask you about posting, but some of the ones that came to mind were posting. So like, you share your story every single day. So what are some ways that you teach your new distributors to post? Because, people always say like, oh, well, I don't really know what to say yet because I haven't made a lot of money. And like, now being in this business for a while, we have been able to do the house and the car thing and the job thing. But we didn't start out that way. So I'm trying to like explain, like, we talked about this and talked about what it was going to do for us to get us to this place. Because if we didn't talk about what it was going to do, we never would be here to talk about the things it's done. So I want you, in your own words, to just kind of like explain, like, how do you teach your new distributors to post? So this kind of is for people who have a team, helping them navigate, like, okay, maybe I can teach my team this way that would be better. And then also for the newbies, what should they be posting? How can they talk about this?
So anybody watch reality TV, the Kardashians, all those things, Bachelor? Our society is obsessed with reality TV. You are your own version of reality TV. That is your Facebook, Instagram, whatever social platform you are. So if you think about it like that, okay, they are fascinated by some of the stupidest things. You know, like, so who are you as a person? Are you dorky and weird and goofy? Like, are you, what are you, you know? And you have to really kind of think about that. For me, I love my family. I mean, it's like faith, family, my dogs, like, cooking. Most people don't know I'm super goofy and weird, just weird. And I've been learned to embrace it. And I'm a hot mess mom. Like, you will not, if you go to my thing, like, I am a hot mess, and I've learned to embrace it. Like, Jade Hooper was like my person, and I relate. Like, my house is always dirty. Like, I usually look homeless, and it's like, whatever, you know? And so, like, so it's your version of reality TV, and being as real and authentic as you can, and you're gonna win. Like, so there's that. For my new distributors, I do try to, like, kind of hold their hand a little bit and kind of give them their first kind of stuff. We have our Telegram chat that has the stories, like basic stories and whatnot. But for like a team whole, I teach to talk about past, present, future, sometimes catchy, sometimes friendship. And I'm going to explain. So to me, like, I couldn't memorize. I remember some people have said it like the F's. I could never memorize them. Like, what F? I don't even know. The past, present, future was really easy to me. Past, what have you gone through in your life? The hard stuff to talk about. This is where you're really uncomfortable. But guess what? The minute you start talking about anything you've gone through and you weed in the business right at the end, you become real. You become relatable. Like, oh my gosh, that's me. Now they're watching. Okay, you're present. This is when your feet are kicked up and you're like, this is my office view at the beach. Like, they're gonna be like, what? Or like anything that the business is paid for, you know, even if it's a $5 gallon of milk, there's people that can't afford that. You know, that was me back in the day. I would have watched your posts. So gas, groceries are huge. So if you're at the grocery store, at the gas pump, always take pictures, whether it's wherever, okay? The receipt, your selfie, whatever. And then future, where are you going? And this is why I originally did not sign up with my friend and I signed up with a random stranger, okay? Ouch. I was really scared to invest $99. Like, we didn't have it. And I did not want to invest that money and feel like I was not going to be taken care of with it, like taught. And like, I didn't want somebody to quit on me. And then I'm by myself. And I apologize. My family, I have family, so they're going to be coming in and out. So where are you going? And most people forget to post this. Where are you going with your life? So this is rank, income, paying off debt. You're going to go on this vacation. You're going to retire. Like, it could be little things, but you got to talk about the future, because if people don't know where you're going, they don't trust you. And if they don't trust you, they're not going to invest in you. And then sometimes catchy. So you're drip, 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 and then bang in their face. It's words only. I'm hiring my last 2 ladies that want to stay at home and make blank amount of money, like, if you are interested. You can't do those too often because they do get a little spammy if you're not careful, but you will get hits if you're doing it right. But you got to do the other ones. And then once in a while, do a friendship one. And that's because people will sign up to make a friend, you guys. I'm an introvert. I signed up. I had no friends. Literally, I had no friends. They pieced out. The minute I lost my mom and things got tough, and I'm a teen mom, so I was already different, they pieced out. So I started with no friends, okay? This business allows you to have friends, and people will sign up for it. So that's my pattern. Now, when you're a brand new distributor, obviously you have no idea. So you have to kind of hold their hand and give them some posts. I do have different ways that I teach new distributors in general. So they get added to the pages and the chats and whatnot. I have a Google Docs for my greens. I feel like it's perfect for the greens out there. So the greens like to research. They want all the details. Well, there's the docs for you. I do a Spark Club training. Our team page is Inferno, so it's Spark. And that is every Thursday, where basically the first 30 minutes is going over basics, and I screen share and show you websites and stuff. And the other 30 minutes is like a working power hour, power 30, where I literally hand them the messages to send. Here's your post. Here's your stories to send, and this is how you add it. And then you're going to message on your dirt list, people that would buy dirt from you. We're not selling dirt, but you get it. And then post a post. So everybody on that Zoom is sending out 60 messages in real time. And then all those conversations they're having, they're screenshotting and putting it in the chat. So that's how I kind of launched the new distributors, and it goes well every single time. At the end of the Zoom, somebody wins something. But the posting pattern is huge. Obviously, going live and doing all of that is a big deal too, but not everyone is super comfortable to start. And as you start, put on the filter and put on sunglasses. It'll be your best friend.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Sorry for the awkward pause. Okay, so I'm gonna need some extra tips. I'll probably message you about that little thing that you just talked about. That was really cool. Because we do newbie Zooms, but that's like whole nother level newbie Zoom. So I'm gonna be getting on that. I'm just writing that down real quick. Okay, so the next thing, it's still talking about posting. So okay, really quick, whenever you say you're posting past, present, future, and then catchy or friendship, in how long are you doing that? Like, because some people are gonna be like, oh wow, that's a lot of posts every day. I'm assuming you don't do that in one day. So like, how is that one a day? Like one day you do past, then present the next day, and then future the next, or what does that look like?
Bare minimum, I try to at least do my past and my present. Because the past ones, that's how I sign up so many distributors. Like, and that's how, like, distributors is my jam. And it's the past, talking about what I've gone through and giving that hope to people. Because a lot of people don't have hope anymore, like they're just miserable, it's all over the place. Like, how many people are on your Facebook right now? Like, who's hiring? Like, I hate my job or whatever. And so I'm giving hope and I'm spreading that. And so bare minimum, I try to do the past and the present. Future, I try to do maybe every other day. And then the other ones every few days. So I post kind of like Jade's 3-3 thing. Well, my product ones are more in my stories.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I do most of my product stuff in my stories, and then my like actual news feed is about the business or like my life and like inspirational things to add value to my followers and things like that. So, and I love that you like equated it to like a reality TV show, because we're like, oh, reality TV, that's so normal. But you want me to post what? Like, it's the same thing. I love that analogy, because you were like Kardashians. I was like, yes, sister. And then you said bachelor, and I was like, okay, you caught me. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about with posting really quick is how do you, because you have a story, okay? We all have a story, but let's talk about yours specifically. You could talk about that and it could be really negative. Like, I went through this and this sucked and this sucked and this happened to me, and like, can you believe this person did this and all my friends left me, screw them. You could make it like that, and some people would be tempted to do that. So I want really quick for you to hit on how to be vulnerable but positive and spin it into like a positive way, because we are not telling you to air your dirty laundry and be negative on social media. We're telling you to share hope by sharing the hard things. And so how do you do that?
So let's take, for instance, like how I grew up, like it was kind of depressive, like I was bullied and it's like this cold little trailer, and it's just like, oh, that's not great, but I weed in that like at the very end, my babies will never, ever have to struggle the way that I did because of what I'm doing now. I'm creating a new future. Or with my mom one it's a tough one. That's why I don't post a ton about it, because people get really sad on top of my sad. But I try to put in there that I know that she would just be so proud of me and like the accomplishments that I am doing, and that she's my greatest like cheerleader in life. And like being a teen mom and all of that. I just try to weed in at the end of it, how it's different, how I broke the generational curses, because I was the first one to go to college in my family. I'm the first one to make this type of money, like the first one to ever be doing network marketing, like all of these are a first in the family, and so you've got to put that positive spin at the end of it so that someone can look at it like, okay, that's my life now, but if she got out of it, maybe I can too. And that's really key. You don't want to be like, I was bullied so bad and like all this, who else had been bullied? Like, we should take down the bullies. Not like that, like at all, instead, like, it's all about like, how can we empower another woman? Like, let's do this. What can you do today to like, let's do a challenge, like send out 5 messages to make someone's day special and tell them how beautiful they are. You got to put that positive spin on it. It's very important.
I love that. That was really, really good. So it's like basically in one sentence, same content. It's the same. You're saying the same thing, but the heart is different between somebody who's being negative on social media and someone who's being positive. So you can share these things, but you can be a positive influence and a positive light to somebody's day in the midst of doing that. And sometimes because you shared that, that was the hope that they had that day. So, okay, so let's move on to the next thing. What are you doing to enroll like customers, distributors? You kind of talked about distributors. It's pretty much just your posting and how you're able to connect with people. So let's talk about customers. What are you doing for that? You mentioned stories and a lot of that, like what specifically in your stories do you do? I did see really quick, I'll say this because you might not think of it. I did see something you posted, I think just a picture maybe of coffee, and you were like, oh, like this is my coffee and it burns fat. See my story for more info. And I was like, let me see what's on her story. It's all like started going through and like, so you're like, hey, go see my story. Like, it's just like a little like, this is my life, love my kids. Like, this is what my day looks like. And I have some coffee, go check out my story. And so it's like not spamming, like people are like, wait, what? And like, then they may see the opportunity on your story too, or like more about you and connect with you. So I was like, that's good. So besides that, what are you doing to enroll customers if I didn't just give away all your tips? And then are there any scripts that you can share for like upselling and like your mindset with upselling?
So anything customer related, people don't give two farts about something that's on Pinterest. Okay, they care about you. So if your auto shipment is not on right now, then you should not be in this business. That's a little red for you guys. But here's the thing. That's how I got Ruby in 2 weeks. They only care about you. They want to know what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it's doing for you. And so if you guys go on my Facebook, you're going to see I literally like was shopping for our block party for a white shirt. And I went to Target and I haven't been shopping in a long time. And I bought the normal size and realized it was way too big. And so I'm like, I'm going to take a picture of it. So I do this and I took a picture and it got so much love. And then at the end, I'm like, I sprinkled in, go check out my stories. So I realized that I was posting a little bit too much about too many products. And I kind of had like a come into Jesus moment after hearing Rochelle speak. I love Rochelle so much. And she literally talks about the skinny coffee every single day. Like she does not miss. And she's lost like 50 pounds and all these things. And I'm like, you know what? I'm obsessed with my coffee. I'm going to do the same thing. So my stories are not great today. Don't judge me. But I've been doing just the chocolate greens, the keto coffee, and TFX at least once a day. And it has been blowing up. And two differences, I've been sharing with my pictures of me more, because I typically don't show full body ones. And then two is on my stories, I give two, you know how there's a poll. I always do poll. I've tried out so many different things. The poll always works for me. And it's 2 forms of a yes. We know that, but I changed it. I'll order today, and then I put a date in it. And it's usually a week or 2 weeks later. And that has been getting like triple the amount of votes than I ever have had. And so like I'm putting, I'll order January 24th. I'll order January 31st, where it's a Friday. Oh my gosh. And so when somebody votes on it, I always, and this is my post too, I always screenshot and send it back to them because they forget what they like and comment and vote on. And for the poll, let me put up one of my saved messages. I don't know where I put it. I'm on the spot. Basically like, hey love, I saw that you voted on my poll. I wasn't sure if it was on accident or not, but I would love to give you information about my fat burning coffee or something like that. Or are you wanting to order today? I can send it to you after this because I can't think straight. But it has been blowing up. And this is the same thing with my distributor ones. I will sign up today. I will work with you January 31st. And so many people are voting on it. And it's just been like everything. I've gotten so much more potentials in the last like week than I have like all of December. Like it's been awesome. So put the dates in it.
Oh my gosh. I am like, my jaw is like on the floor. I love that idea because I think like the reason why I think that works so well, just like from like a business standpoint, and like knowing how people think, they're going to think if I vote on this poll today, then she's going to want me to order today. But that immediately takes the pressure off of them. And they're like, she knows I ain't ordering today, so she won't pressure me. Which we're not going to do that anyways. They had this misconception that we will. And so they're like, okay, well, if I click this button, like I'm off the hook and I don't have to order right now. And I don't have to like worry about her hounding me about this. And like, I just think that is genius. am obsessed. Okay, I'm doing that. Thank you.
And then you were talking about upselling. So as far as customers in general, use your own products, have your auto ship on, be consistent with at least 3 products that you're talking about every single day in your stories. Have those 2 different poll options. That'll change everything. Same thing with your distributor post stories, put that other option. And then as far as upselling, and so they had me on stage talking about upselling, and this is like, it's so easy. And I will give you wording in a message that you can send your team afterwards. But I'm too squirrel, like, yeah. So when you get anybody interested in something, and one of my popular ones, it's either my trio or hair, skin, and nails. I love hair, skin, and nails. Like, my hair is completely different because of hair, skin, and nails. So let's say they are ready to order, like literally ready to order my hair, skin, and nails. Like, they gave me their information and everything, okay? Because if you do it too soon, you might lose them. I literally say, hey, just so you know, you doing this opens a door where you get basically half off of everything in my store. So I don't know if you need help with losing weight, inches, you look great, maybe better energy, nutrition, sleep better, whatever, but I can totally customize a package for you if you are wanting to add something onto this. That is when it changes, because all of them are like, literally everyone says they want to lose weight. Oh, okay, well, let me see what I can do. I'm going to customize a package just for you and crunch numbers to get this as cheap as possible as I can. They like hearing cheap and customized and all these, so they feel special. And then from there, I personally like to voice message, but what you can do is pull up your website and find some of the products that we have for weight loss and use the bullet points. But pretty much what I'm doing is I'm voicing what we have. I'm going to voice you what I have. If you have any light bulb moments, let me know. Okay. And then I'm talking about the skinny coffee, you're talking about the cleanse and doing the thing. And what happens is all of a sudden the hair, skin, and nails turns into like 5 other things. And so I already have them on the hook for the hair, skin, and nails. They're going to be a customer that day. And they either going to add on to it right then and there, or when they get paid in 2 weeks, they're going to add on the rest of them. So my 30 BB orders were turning into like 200 BB orders. And then I personally like to spoil my customers. And so if they order a bigger package, I send them, I don't think that they have it anymore, but the store did have like packages of t-shirts. So my bigger packages, I was sending a thank you card no matter what. Thank you card no matter what with any customer. But with my bigger ones, I was sending the It Works t-shirt with like a couple samples of something that they didn't try yet, just to say thank you, because it's a lot of money. And what they were doing was putting on the It Works t-shirt and repping my business for me. And it was awesome. So, and I don't know if they have them anymore, but they were like $2 t-shirts. So, but yes, upselling, you guys, is so easy. You open the door for basically everything half off in the store. So I don't know. And it's just so easy because you already have their information. So I'll get the wording for you though. I have it typed out.
Please, you are a freaking genius, dude. Okay, comment on one below if you would like every single order that you sign, every loyal customer to be 200 BB. And if you don't put a 1, you're lying. Who doesn't want freaking 100? Like, what the heck? Dude, that is nuts. Okay. I'm like so excited. I'm like, okay, we're going to end the Zoom. We're going to work. I'm just kidding. Okay. And I love, like, she was just like so natural. And she was like, okay, like, let me just see, like, what's the worst that they can do? She has their information. So what are they going to do? Say no and, like, also don't do my information? Like, I'm out. Like, they're not going to do that. And I usually do wait as well. After I get their information, I'm like, by the way, really quick. And, like, I'll add on, like, you know, the greens to the Thermophyte X, or I'll add, like, upsell them to the greens with the coffee, or, you know, whatever, and, like, make it a trio or make it the triple threat. So I do upsell a lot too, but mine isn't like the whole shebang. Mine aren't 200 BB orders, I'm just being honest. Like, mine are like, oh my gosh, I upsold, now it's a 60 BB. Like, so I want to get on your level. So yes, whenever you get that script, that would be so great. But the mindset that she has is just like, they're going to say yes. And, like, the worst thing that could happen is that it's still going to be a customer today. Like, there's no fear in that. And it's not scary. You're literally, people always say, like, I'm too yellow. Like, if you know the color personalities, you're like, I'm just too yellow. Yeah, okay, Miranda, she's a yellow. She's like, but people think, like, oh, I'm too yellow. I don't want to ask. That just seems really pushy. If you're a yellow, what do you love to do? Help people. So why wouldn't you help them find what's going to work best for their results? It's not a red thing to ask that. It can be red if you're thinking about the money, but really we're helping people get the best results. And so that is yellow. That works for every single person, and you're crunching numbers and getting the different details for different things that work. So that's your green, and it's fun to make money, and it's fun to be able to talk to people and be like, woo, you got this discount. Like, that's your blue. Works for everybody. You have this mindset. You go into it just really confident, and that changes the game. Whenever you go into it knowing that you're not going to be able to upsell them, that's what happens. So change your perspective on that. Okay. The next question, there's only 2 questions left. But how do you lead your team? I know that that's like such a broad question. Now that I'm looking at that, I'm like, why did I ask it like that? How do you lead your team to create layered leadership, I guess? So maybe explain just for like the newbies kind of basically what layered leadership is, and then just talk a little bit, because we've talked a lot about, upselling and some of the things obviously that like our leaders might know. So maybe this is a question more for them as they have their teams. So what's some just tips for that?
So it is a good question. And I'm going to be honest, you guys, you will have a lot of things happen in your business. For us, we did lose quite a bit of people this last year. As far as like, I think a little bit more of a general term, like, what is a leader? Like if you have a single distributor underneath of you, you are considered a leader. Therefore, you're a mentor, a coach, and all these things. They're going to look up to you. And so I have a ginormous tree, and you cannot get to the high levels without having layered leadership. End of story. Like, you cannot do it on your own. As much as my yellow wants to, because I'm like a giant mama bear, like I love my team and I want to do all the things, it's impossible. It will not sustain. So you have to learn how to love on your leaders so that they can love on their leaders, and so forth. And that really boils down to, in-person stuff is different. This is more social media stuff. Where as leaders, we have to become professionals, as Pam would word it, professionals doing our IPAs every single day and getting it done no matter what before you go to bed and teaching the same thing. And those IPAs, the majority, the big heart of it is the self-development. So that you have belief in yourself and you feel confident as a person, because the more confidence and whatnot, you are going to lead that way, right? You're not going to hit the funks and all of these things. But being a good leader, I learned this as a radiology supervisor when I had my first interview. I was told to be the hardest worker in the room and lead by example. And I carry that with this. You've got to be the hardest worker in the room and lead by example, right? You cannot get in boss mode at all, because they are their own boss. You have to have that respect. But show them what's working. In the chats, if you just signed up a customer, how did you do it? Share it. That is important. But as far as like my leaders, it's having our Monday night leadership Zooms where we feel that unity with each other. We do it every Monday now. Making events a top priority, and then just doing like the power hours and whatnot. So with my leaders now, they've got to post in the groups. They need to post in, because we have a PLC page, we have a PDT page, and then our current page. They've got to post in them. They need to host their own Power 30s or Power Hours. And then they have to be certain ranks. So that's kind of like the expectation, but it's more just learning the IPAs and teaching the same thing and just being present. So.
Yeah, that helps a lot. And the biggest thing is like, I was talking to a girl, and this is slightly different, but the same idea. So she was talking about how, like, she was like, how do you keep up with your loyal customers, And I'm telling this story because this girl's like on it. She's like always got like everything just together, and she's very on top of like everything. She was like, I've been, writing each person on my team's name down and then writing each individual customer underneath them. She said, how do you do it? I said, girl, do you think I do that? She was like, no. I was like, do you think now that's okay for her to do that now, because she's going for Emerald, she's going to hit it this month, and then she's going to go Diamond next month. But like, you can't sustain that when you hit double, triple, presidential. Like, there's no stinking freaking way that I could ever do that. The point that I'm trying to make is not that she did anything wrong, but I want to teach you how I taught her. What you do now has to be sustainable through the rest of your lifetime of your business. When you go ambassador, you hope that you've built leaders. Now I know ambassador is far away, but what I'm saying is like, you're like, oh, well, whenever I go ambassador, like it's fine. Like then I can help everyone. You have a 2.0 that you're going to open. And you hope that this ambassador team that you have equipped will be able to sustain itself so that you can go and work on your 2.0 as you, continue to work with these leaders over here. When you have a double diamond size team, you're not going to be able to help every single 400 box like 18 levels down in your organization. And, I'm getting to the point where I have like diamonds that I barely know, which is so crazy because I never thought that I'd be here. But that shows that you have that layered leadership where I can trust people who are diamonds to work with their teams and their rubies so that I don't have to work with every single person individually. And it's not so that I can't do that. It's not so I can get out of the legwork. It's so that I can build a team that's sustainable without me. Because that's ultimately the goal, not because I'm not going to be here, but because I don't want you to be reliant on me. I want you to pass me. I don't want to be the cap of where you're at. And if you have to be, on me all the time so that you can be successful, you're never going to be able to get to where I'm at because I'm putting a lid on you. I'm saying, no, let me help your team. Instead of saying, you know what, go lead your team. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to equip you to do it. But I'm going to let you lead and I'm going to let you fail. I'm going to let you mess up. It's like a mom when your kids go off to college. It's like you hope that you've equipped them to be able to do these things. And then you have to trust that you've done your job and that they're able to do this on their own. They're going to fail. They're going to mess up. They're going to need your help. But you're going to be there for them, but in a different way than whenever they were 3 years old trying, to ride a bicycle. It's different. So I was going to say whenever they were 3 trying to learn how to walk, but then I was like, wait, they know how to walk when they're 3. Not a mom. It's fine. Okay, so moving on. Hope that makes sense. So anyways, layered leadership, that's what it is. That is why we have it. I know that some of you are like brand new and you're like, I don't even have my 4 customers yet. What is a layered leadership? And don't worry about it. You'll learn later, but tuck that away so that as you grow your team, you're like, that's what she was talking about. And we'll talk more about that when the time comes. But I wanted to ask that for the people that have kind of been more seasoned in this business that are struggling with that a little bit. Okay, the last question that we have is, why is self-development so important? Okay. I love this question because this is something that I didn't do for so long. I heard people say it was important and I was like, yeah, they're just like millionaires. Like, what do they know? And like, okay, well, success leaves clues. So I don't know why I wasn't doing the things successful people were doing, but I didn't. And it was the worst mistake I've ever made business wise. So if there's anything I'd go back and tell myself, it's start self-development on October 15th, 2014. It's the day that I joined, and I wish that I had started then because I would be so much further along now mentally, emotionally, and as a leader than I am. So why is it so important? What is it? What are some books that you love? Like, just tell us all the good stuff.
So life has not been friendly to me. I've shared it quite a bit. So how do you get from something like that, teen mom, small population, no network, all of these things, right? A lot of loss, a lot of trauma, all these things, to being #1 income earner for Washington State, having all these successes, retirement, and all of that. That's self-development in a nutshell. You have to, in this business, be willing to grow as a person in some way. This would not have existed 4 years ago had I not done self-development. I couldn't get on pictures. My business name for my website is Slim Selfie because I didn't have a single selfie in my phone. I wouldn't even look in the mirror. Like, that's how low self-esteem I had. I was broken as a person. But you have to have that willingness to want to grow internally and take care of yourself in all ways. Self-development to me is more than just books. It's literally spiritual level, mental level, physical level, all of it. And how do you bridge that gap? It is a battle, you guys. It is a battle every freaking day. And you're never going to win the battle. And it is waking up, and it is making that conscious decision to sit on the end of your bed and do your prayers, having the vision board, having the journaling every day. Like, this is an everyday thing. And then having the audibles playing with your headphones in while you're making breakfast for the kids. It is literally not watching the TV yet. Like you gotta pour into your cup And it is in all ways. It's taking that bath at night and having 2 seconds of break so that, because your kids are driving you nuts, you know, it's taking care of you. It's going to the gym. It's using your products and feeling so sexy and amazing again, you know. Self-development has to be had every freaking day, or you will fail in this business. You will not have success. It should be the biggest thing out of anything that you do, because 80% of what we do is self-development. And I cannot tell you how many like these amazing people in this business that I have lost in the last 4 years because their belief system was not there, or that they hit a funk and they didn't know how to get out of it. And it boils down to self-development. They didn't do it. They didn't listen, you know, and I didn't know what the frick it was either. And it wasn't until about a year and a half ago, where God was telling me that I needed it, you know. And one of my favorite books, and it was like my first one that I really got into. I don't hold still, like, at all. Like, I'm total like ADD, like I gotta move at all time. And so sitting down to read was not a thing. The Last Arrow changed everything. I saw Mary Beth post about a book club or something, and she was reading. I'm like, well, I don't want to be left out. So I ordered it, you guys. I don't know if I would have hit some of these successes that I had in the last year had that not happened with that book, because directly after reading it, a lot of bad things happened. My upline left. She took my elephant leg. There goes 110,000 GB, mind you. Like, a lot of things happened, and dirty things and bad. Like, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But had I not read that book and it empowering me, I wouldn't have been able to pick myself up. Because, you know, and that is the beauty of self-development. It's just like, it empowers you. It changes your belief system. It changes from you to them. You know, like I wake up for my team. Like, I wake up knowing I can help a mom come home to her baby, and that there's not a bigger gift than what we do, you guys. Like, we literally get to empower, like, for me, I focus on women. I empower women every freaking day. Like, it doesn't get better than that. Where I was in the medical field for 15 years, and I have helped more people in this business by far than anything that I could have done in that. And so self-development, I'm very, very passionate about it, especially because of the depression and the anxiety. Like, that's where I get a little emotional. I wouldn't be alive today. And so, like, you've got to be able to recognize, like, yourself more than anything, and know that it has to be done. And it might seem really stupid. Like, I never even had a diary as a kid. I thought they were dumb. And so journaling was really difficult for me. I'm like, this is kind of lame, you know? And I used my, I know they changed their gifts, but my Triple Diamond book, I had it collecting dust. I didn't know what to put in it. And it became my journal, you know? I write down anything and everything. And I don't know why I'm getting so emotional about it. Like, it's just, I literally wouldn't be alive today. And, like, my babies wouldn't have a mom. And it's like, because the devil will come at you when you feel your weakest. And we can't control what life happens. I can't tell you that you're not going to lose someone important, or that your marriage might not crumble, or, you know, all these things. But if you're pouring into yourself, pouring into your cup every day, and especially with parents, like, I don't know how many moms are on here, but, like, I'm yellow. My primary my color is a giver, and I will give, and then be at nighttime, and I'm so exhausted that I'm in tears because I didn't take care of myself that day. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I didn't maybe take my products or something. And, like, you have to do that for yourself, and you just have to, because you cannot give if you don't have nothing to give anymore. And so, self-development, you guys, like, it should be your biggest thing. I will give you kind of a cool tip. I was paying for all sorts of books. I got books everywhere. I haven't read most of them because I don't sit still. Get Audibles, but I can show you how to get them for free. And so I was paying all this money, and I'm like, this is stupid. And then I was limited. Go to your local library, get a library card, and they have apps now that you can download and get freaking unlimited books for free. Changed everything. I've read like 6 of them, or listened to 6 of them in like the last 2 weeks. And they're good, you know? And so The Last Arrow is by far my favorite. Relentless was a little red, but it was good. I mean, it basically teaching you how to be a cleaner and be different and embrace being different and work your ass off every day. And then there's, what is the Secrets of the Hollywood? What is that? It's one Amber Parker was talking about. Oh my gosh, that was so good. I got to tell you, sorry to pause it because it was really, really good. The Hollywood Commandments. There we go. That was really, really good too. But I honestly like listen to anything and everything. I like anything to do with habits. So like how to make your bed, that one, the secret to making your bed every day or whatever. Make your bed in the morning and get like change, even if for those that stay at home, like change out of your pajamas into new pajamas or something and shower, because it will change your productivity in your day. Make your bed, get ready. Those were huge. But journaling, vision board, I made the coolest vision board of my freaking life. Like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with it. Like I have it in my bedroom so that when I wake up, it's the first thing I see. When I go to sleep, it's the last thing I see. And I dream about it. And I made my family get involved this time. And they thought I was like, it's kind of silly and I don't care. Like I literally have their writing on little piece of paper and it's so cute and precious. Even my 4-year-old has scribbles. And I'm just like, and it's awesome because I have my team stuff right above it because I know when I wake up, that sucker is happening. And it's so awesome. So I hope that helps a little bit. You have to pour in your cup, you guys, every friggin' day, every day. That and messaging is my 2 favorite IPAs every single day.
And IPAs is income producing activities for those of you who are like super brand new, but oh my gosh, that was perfect. Because, I talk about self-development all the time, but it's different whenever they hear it from like their mom versus their friend's mom. They just take it a little bit more seriously. So I hope that if you're not doing self-development and you haven't started, even though like you hear me or other leaders in this company talk about it, I hope now you get it and you're like, yes. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I do self-development like here and there. Like it needs to be consistent. It needs to be every single day pouring into yourself. A couple things. Shoot, I need to start writing this stuff down. Oh, Hollywood Commandments. Was that what you said?
Yeah, the Hollywood Commandments.
Okay.
By Devin Franklin.
Okay.
The Last Arrow is McManus. And then Relentless, I forget. But I can screenshot and send them to you. But yeah. I honestly just go to my little, so Libby is the app that I'm using. Some of you guys have the same one because it's not just one location for the app. And I'm obsessed, you guys. Like there's so many books. And they're like audibles. Like you can do regular books inside of it, but you can also do audibles. And it's just awesome. I have wireless headphones. I'll do it at the gym, when I'm driving. When I'm in the car, this time management is everything in this business. When I'm showering, when I'm in the car, when I'm cooking and cleaning, I'm listening with my headphones. And it'll be my audibles. It'll be the newest podcast, YouTube, whatever. You guys, I'm telling you, it'll change everything. So you don't feel like you're wasting time because you're still doing what you need to do. I'm still a mom, like to 3 crazy kids, and like and then a wife and all these things, but just multitask so you don't feel like you're wasting the time at the same time.
100%. I do the same thing, and Zig Ziglar calls that what is he? Highway University or something, or like I don't remember. Or whatever. That was okay. Well, I don't even know what he called it. So that was anyways, and then Relentless is by Tim Grover. That's a really good book, but that's who is the author of that one. I think if that's the one that you're talking about, because I've read that one. But yes, so yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say to close that out. But there's so many different books, and if you have like a thing that you want to listen to or a topic, go to your enroller or come to me and be like, hey, what's a good book on this? And it's not like I have all the answers, but I have really done a lot of self-development in the last year and a half, and I've listened to a lot of different books on different topics, and so whenever I hear certain things, I'm like, oh, this would be a really good book for that. And it's cool to be able to do that because I feel like I'm able to help my team better because I'm pouring into myself first, so I have that to overflow to my team. I remember what I was going to say. The last thing really quick is the cup analogy. Y'all heard me say it before. I got this from Kelsey Thornton, and she probably got it from somebody else, but basically you can't just do self-development when you know that you need it. You have to be consistent with self-development self-development, even on the days that you don't feel like you need it, because you know, on the days that you need it, it's almost too late. Like, not to say that you shouldn't get started now, but if you're constantly filling up your cup just to let it deplete and be empty before you fill it back up, you're never growing. You're just getting back to where you were and then depleting yourself. You don't have anything to give to other people when you do that, and you wonder why your team isn't working. You wonder why you feel like a failure. You wonder why your business hasn't been growing. You wonder why you're not able to promote. You're wondering why you've been at the same rank for 2 years, but yet you don't do self-development every single day, and this business is 80% mindset, like she said. So why don't you're the cup, the self-development and like your mindset is the stuff in the cup, and you're filling it up, but then you let it fill up, and then you do self-development on the days that you don't feel like you need it, and you keep just doing it. The stuff in the cup is going to get overflowing. So what does the cup have to do? It has to grow to contain it, right? So you're not consistently just like emptying out your cup to refill it. You're growing yourself as you continue to be more knowledgeable and more wise in these things. And that is how you're going to be able to lead your team, because you're the cap on your team. You're the lid on your team. If your cup is this big and you keep depleting it, people on your team are not going to rise above that until they decide on their own to do that, but it's going to take them longer. You want to be the catalyst to help your team get where they want to go, and you want to be a part of that push, not somebody like speeding past you and you're like, wait, what happened? You know? So if you want to be successful, do self-development. Can't harp on that enough. Okay, thank you so much for getting on here. I'm going to stop the recording.